Good morning from Los Angeles. It's Valerie Milano, the Hollywood Times, and I'm going to have our guests introduce themselves. Thank you so much for being with us.
I'm Quentin Lee. I'm the producer and director of Laugh Proud.
I'm Jason Stuart, actor and comedian, and I am featured in Laugh Proud.
Excellent. I am so happy that you took the time today to be with us, and I wanted Jason to be here. He's only one of the comedians that are featured on the show because Jason and I have interviewed together a couple of times now, so I was very familiar with his work. And Jason and I've worked together on his comedy routine with Mitch Hara on Smothered. And
my series, Smothered, that's on Amazon.
Yes.
It's not a stand-up. It's not a stand-up. It's an actual short-form series, and we're nominated for 11 Indie Series awards, which we'll find out tomorrow night if we won anything.
I love it. That's why I wanted you here. If Quentin didn't mind, we talked about that for a quick second. So, yay, congratulations on that, Jason.
It's very exciting. I won the first season, and now Mitch and I are both nominated this season, so it's very exciting. And it's about two guys who have been in a relationship for over 30 years who hate each other but can't afford to get divorced. Smothered.
Smothered. Love it.
I've seen it.
Yeah, I've seen it too. It's pretty fun. So Jason, why comedy? Just because it was your passion? When did you start? Who are your favorite acts?
The honest truth is I started doing stand-up because I couldn't get a job as an actor because I was gay and it was the 80s and no one would give me a job to save my life. And I had this manager who said, "You're really funny." I said, "No, I'm an actor." And she said, "No, you're really funny. You should start doing comedy." And I went on stage. My life flashed before my eyes at the Comedy Store. They made me a non-paid showcasing regular, which is the lowest of the lowest. And I went there every week, and I made up who was going to come see me so I could get my spot. And I just kept working on my act for 3 years. And for the first 3 years, and I would go up 3 times a week, no matter what. And then I got the Merv Griffin Show and Star Search, and I won one episode, and then everything just started to go down a hill from there. Yeah. But I was in the closet then. I was deeply in the closet for the first 10 years of my career as a stand-up comedian. Yeah. Well, in 1983, it was a very different time. Yeah. That's why this whole special has been so uniquely touching for me, to be in a group of people that are BIPOC and transgender and fluid and liquid and in a glass and on a shelf and everything. I mean, everything you could think of. And it's so wonderful. They are so uniquely their own person. And I was just so moved by that. I don't think a lot of them really realized it, but it was very moving to me to be able to be a part of this and to be a part of this kind of history and to be included.
So one more quickie for you, so to speak. Your passion, who was a couple of your favorite acts that wanted to make you get into comedy?
When I was very young, it was Don Rickles. And I have been called the Don Rickles of gay Jewish comedy before in the press. And then Joan Rivers really just completely blew me away during the time, when she, the 90s to 2000s, when she was really, really popular. And then I started to love people like Richard Lewis and Louis Anderson and people that learning all different kinds of comedy. The woman named Lois Bromfield, who you probably don't know, who lives in Germany now with her wife. And it was just the funniest thing that I'd ever seen. And I love the idea of interacting with the audience and also with your own material and going back and forth, yet being the funny person and not making the audience the funny person, which is what everybody's doing these days. But I think it's better to be the funny person yourself.
And I love that you're on this right now, because I know you did Pride Under the Pines. You and Shankar were one of the talk about that for a quick second.
We were the headliners for that new Pride in Idlewild, which is very close to where I live in Palm Springs. So I think it's real important still to do prides. Probably more important to do it in the smaller areas where people are still coming out, people are still losing their jobs, people are still losing where they're living. That's still happening around the country. And with the climate of what's going on now, we've got to be really, really supportive of our LGBTQ brothers and sisters, and our theys.
Exactly. Quentin. So the selection process, of this show. Um, you know, the comedians. Talk about that as well, please.
Well, it was actually an open casting call, and then I think I put out like a casting notice, and somehow the first call I got was Jason Stuart, and he says,
Ah.
"Quentin, you're doing stand-up comedy. Consider me."
Well, I wanted to be involved in our history, you know, and,
Great, you know,
and I've known Quentin for a very long time,
Yeah.
a number of films together. So it wasn't like I called him out of the blue and I didn't know him. And we had a history, and he had asked me, he had told me he was doing specials years ago and said that he would put me in one.
Yes,
And
that's
he
true. So
called
but
me.
you called me as perfect because I don't have to cast as many people, but the concept has always been having like about 8 comics. Just kind of like everybody does about 10 minutes, and then it's finding that selection and putting it together. So as Jason came on board, and I actually already sort of like tagged 7G, the intersex comic. So with 2 of them, I kind of knew they were on board quite early on, and then the rest I actually openly cast through like a lot, like, you know, like different kind of casting websites, and then kind of put the team together. Because I think it's important to be both kind of like have, you know, a very, very kind of like veteran comics like Jason, and also like in some ways 7G has been doing it for a while, and also kind of younger people, younger different perspectives. So
Yeah, you did have a wide range of ages and types, so I commend you for that.
thank you.
Um, and the order in which you chose them to come out, how did you choose that?
You know, Jason suggested that he should go in the middle because he's he's the headliner. That's fine.
Well, can I tell you why I said that? Because I think that in a show, you want everyone to do well.
Yeah.
And the placement of the show is so important. So you go from the sweeter comics to the more rat-a-tat-tat comics to people who are more outrageous, and then the really dirty comics. So it shouldn't be about celebrity, or it shouldn't be about amount of credits you have. It should, so everybody in the show looks good from beginning to end. And I think Quentin was able to accomplish that very much so.
Well, there's a lot of stuff done also in the editing process where there were actually we switched the orders of the comics quite a bit actually. So I think that Jason, you stay pretty much around that range, but then we did have to switch some stuff around because I think that one comic we did was younger, and we put her like maybe later in, but she was so strong, which I think was the Rowan Niles, I believe, and we just thought,
Yeah.
oh my God, she should like she. So it's kind of like finding that energy and putting it in the special so that you kind of like don't get bored or something, and you kind of like save the most craziest for the last. And it's really fun in the editing process, putting the order of the comics together, and that's part of the editing, you know.
So you probably don't know yet, Quentin, but will there be a second installment of
Well, I hope
this?
so. I hope so.
Oh,
If this
yeah.
one does well, I mean, that's a goal. I mean, it's supposed to do like second. It's a little bit of an IP that I've created. So, but a lot depends on whether people want to watch a second one. So, you know, we're totally open to it.
Excellent. And one getting towards the end here. Do you think, and probably this would be a Jason Stuart question, is all comedy informed by trauma or some traumatic experience, do you think?
Oh God, no. I think
Oh,
everybody's different. You know, everybody has a different life. Everybody has a different place that they come from. Everybody comes from a different moment that makes them want to do it. And why do they want to do it? They say a lot of times people say people are funny to go through the pain. Yeah, some people are. I mean, some people just want to make people laugh, and they're just goofy and fun. And some people think they can do it, and then they can't, and then they learn how to do it. So
yeah.
the people that are just funny naturally, I think I was always funny naturally, and then I had to learn the craft. But I think there's a lot of people now who are want to do the art form, but are not funny. But then they'll create what's funny about them. And there's 3 ways to be funny: either you're funny looking, you say funny things, or you say things funny. And I think I say things funny, and I say funny things. I'm just sort of average looking, so.
Oh, before we even got on the air, you were asking about your glasses. I don't know. What was that about?
Quentin took off his glasses.
Oh, right. Yeah, I took off my glasses because I'm getting old, so I have to like look at the screen with glasses. So I just took them off, and he says it looks better. It makes them looks better. I don't know why. I guess
Doesn't he
that's
look
fine.
adorable? He's adorable. He's absolutely adorable.
You are adorable, Quentin Lee. Okay,
Thank you.
well, we're gonna write this up and we will be on the YouTube, our YouTube channels, the Hollywood Times Official, our HollywoodTimes.net, and how can we find your show and you guys so our readers and our our viewers can find you guys and the show.
Yeah, we're laughproud.com, LAUGHPROUD.com. So everything, all the information is on there.
And anything about me, you can go to jasonstuart.com, STUART.
Will y'all be at Pride? WeHo, LA, what?
I'm not sure if I'm available yet. I'm going to see what happens with where I'm going to be going, but I'm definitely on June 13th. What I'm doing is I'm working with the Hollywood Museum, and they're doing an exhibit on my whole career for Gay Pride. So that's what I'll be doing.
I'll
Yeah.
probably be
And
there.
yeah, I was chosen, which is really sort of an honor, and it sort of really surprised me. So I feel really blessed in that area.
Okay, love it. Well, keep up the good work, both you guys, and we'll see you soon, I'm sure.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Valerie.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for taking the time. Have a great rest of your day.